Hello, my friends. It's Manny Rodriguez with Deep True Crime. Welcome to another episode as we dive deep into these true crime stories, whether they're currently in the news or they have been solved and they're past news. But here's the truth. We have another doozy. And this is one of those school shootings that should never happen. We already know bad things are going to happen in this world, don't we? But anytime there's a school shooting involved, there's a lot of anger and hate going on in this person's heart. And this is the story of Ethan Crumbley, where he massacred 4 classmates. He killed 4 classmates and injured 7 others. And he has been arrested. 15 years old. 15 years old. That is so young. At first, when this shooting occurred, classmates were saying that this kid was bullied, but there's been no one to really get behind that statement. But here's the truth. In school, bullying definitely occurs. It definitely occurs. And you know, it's so easy to blow this stuff off as they're kids. No, we have to take this bullying very seriously. And again, we don't know if bullying caused this, but I can tell you bullying is a problem in these schools. But regardless, that's not what this is about. This is about the hate that this kid brought and the anger he had towards his classmates. We don't know why yet. We're still finding out why this happened because he's not speaking. He's not talked to anyone about this incident as to his motive. And that's what we're hoping to find out. What was his motive behind this heinous act? We don't know yet. But we do know that 4 wonderful lives have been taken way too soon. And I want to pay my respects because these kids were taken way too soon. So, and as always, I try to share, number one, what is their story about? And these 4 young kids were taken way too soon. Literally, way too soon, and no one can question otherwise. And so, Hannah St. Juliana, rest in peace. Justin Schilling, rest in peace. Tate Meir, rest in peace. Madison Baldwin, rest in peace. And I hope you guys find peace in where you're in heaven. And I want to share a little about Hannah St. Juliana. 14 years old. Still had her whole life ahead of her. Taken way too soon. She was on the high school women's basketball team. And she was just 14 years old. So, she had so much life to live and give. And she was one of the shooting victims in this heinous crime. And her basketball team wrote on Twitter, "We will never forget your kind heart. Since 6th grade camp, you have stayed dedicated to Oxford basketball, soaking in the game." I mean, she loved this sport. She loved it. And her basketball team, they said, "This season, we play for you, Hannah." And rest in peace, Hannah. Taken way too soon. Justin Schilling. Rest in peace, Justin Schilling. He was only 17 years old. And he was the 4th victim. At first, 3 died immediately. He would succumb to these injuries later on. So he died a day after this occurred. And Kevin Schilling, his uncle, he created a GoFundMe account to help cover medical expenses for him. And he wrote on the fund, "I cannot describe to you the grief that our family is feeling from this senseless and unimaginable tragedy. If you would like to make a donation, I can assure that the funds will be used to honor the memory of this wonderful young man that has been taken from us far too soon." Rest in peace, Justin. And, Schilling, as a 17-year-old, he was even working. Not only was he a student, but he was also working. And he worked at Anita's Kitchen. And they shared a statement on social media about him. They said, "We've just learned of the passing of one of our bright, young Lake Orion employees, Justin Schilling, in relation to the tragic events that took place at Oxford High School yesterday." And this is what his workplace said. "Justin was an exemplary employee, a devoted friend and co-worker, co-captain of his bowling team, and simply a pleasure to be around. Our thoughts are with his family and friends at this difficult time." Yes, it is definitely a difficult time. And we hope that they find peace. Rest in peace, Justin Schilling. And then you have you have Tate Meyer. Might be Mir. Now, Tate, he was trying to be a hero and take the gun away from this coward who brought a gun to school. And we'll talk about the gun here in a minute. But I want to pay my respects where this is needed. And Tate, his heart, he was a protector. That's why he went after this kid's gun. Yes, he was a 15-year-old kid that did this tragic incident. And he was dedicated to his sport of football. He loved football. He was a star football player who had earned a spot on the varsity team since he was a freshman at Oxford High School. And this is where it's like he was all in. His heart was of gold. And he excelled on the football field. But not only that, he was an honor student. And the team tweeted that it is with great grief that one of the victims of the tragic event at OHS today was one of our own, Tate Meyer. Tate was a great young man with a bright future and beloved by all. You will be missed, Tate. Rest in peace, Tate. And Meyer's own Twitter account, you can look at it. It has so many tweets of game highlights and scrimmage videos, showcasing his abilities. And on his last tweet of November 28, he thanked the University of Toledo football team for having him at one of their games. They were trying to recruit him. A deputy had loaded Meyer into their car after the shooting, but he died on the way to the hospital. And that was according to the sheriff. And these are the sad parts. These are definitely the sad parts. There was a petition that was going around, and it said this: Tate is not just a hero to his fellow students at Oxford High School, but a legend. His act of bravery should be remembered forever and passed down through generations. He put his life in danger to try and help the thousands of other students at Oxford High School. And so far, this petition has gained 48,000 signatures. So they're definitely trying to get this out there. And this is where it's so friggin' sad. This should not have happened. And whenever you have school violence, it's like, how could this have been prevented? We only wish we knew, right? We only wish we knew. The next person I want to share is Madison Baldwin. She was only 17 years old. Rest in peace, Madison Baldwin. And Madison, she was expected to graduate this year. And she was like, she had already been accepted to several colleges, some with full scholarships. She had the whole world in her hands. She had so much life to live and give. So sad. Her grandmother, she said, we know, known to Baldwin as Gigi, right? That's what Baldwin called grandma, was Gigi. And she announced the family's loss on Facebook, and they created a GoFundMe campaign as well on behalf of Baldwin's mother and father. And Graves wrote on Graves, the grandma, Gigi, she wrote, "This beautiful, smart, sweet, loving girl was tragically taken from all of us today, leaving a huge hole in all of our hearts. This horrific day could never have been imagined or planned for." No one was planning for this day, right? Like, these four beautiful people taken way too soon. Way too soon. She was an artist who loved to draw. She loved to read. She loved to write. She was the eldest of 3 siblings, had a younger half-brother and 2 sisters she loved dearly. And I mean, these kids were taken way too soon. Now, 6 other students and a teacher was shot. So 7 total. They were all shot. A 14-year-old girl who was on a ventilator following surgery. A 14-year-old boy also had a gunshot wound to the jaw and head. While the teacher was shot, who was shot, she has been discharged from the hospital, so she's recovering. And you had a senior who was in a classroom when he heard 2 shots, part of what authorities called an absolutely cold-hearted, murderous rampage. Yes, this was. And this is what makes this so terrible, because again, this should not have happened. This should not have happened. I think everyone would agree this heinous act should have never occurred. Never occurred. And let's talk about how did this gun come about? How did this gun come about? So apparently, you're probably asking, will the parents face any criminal actions? Will they be charged? Because there is already a prosecutor, Karen McDonald, who is seeking accountability. And there's some discrepancies on the story. According to Mr. Crumbley, he bought this gun, this sour gun, whatever it is, on a Black Friday. Okay? But did he buy it for himself, or did he buy it for his son? Because his son was on social media bragging about this little beautiful baby he got. He referred to it as something like that. And so now you have multiple charges that have been filed against the 15-year-old. And not only is he facing charges because of the heinous act, but they're also talking about this is a terrorist act. So he's also being charged with that crime as well. But again, we won't know more until more comes out. And that's what we don't know. We don't know, will the family be charged? Okay? And to me, I'm thinking if you bought this for your son, you should definitely be charged. You should definitely be charged. My guess is he probably had to practice shooting this thing. I mean, if that was his first time holding a gun, would he be able to just, I don't know. I love playing detective, but I'm not a detective. And so you do have multiple charges that are against him. He is being arraigned as an adult terrorist. And his parents, James and Jennifer, that's who you see in the screen, on the screen right now. They reportedly urged their teen son to plead the fifth while facing the investigators. So basically, don't talk to the investigators even though they're trying to get some answers as to why you did this. I don't know. That's probably normal, right? That's probably normal, I guess. I don't even know. But I mean, you're talking about a bunch of stuff that has been, emerging, prompting many to accuse his parents for being responsible for this massacre. So it's like, So did he buy that handgun that he used in school? Huh? And his mother was even kind of boasting of taking him with her to practice shooting. So that must be where he got some of his practice from, right? I mean, we know, according to a blog that the mom did to then President Trump, that she was a big fan of having a gun. She was a fan. She believed in having guns. She believed in the Second Amendment. I'm not here to judge that. That has nothing to do with this, what this is about. But, while he's being charged with terrorism, first-degree murder, assault, gun possession, now they're trying to say, well, maybe his parents should also be charged with this. He is going to be tried as an adult. He will be tried as an adult, but, And so you have a lot of different things coming out. You had a video, and I want to share right now. There's a video. Let's see if I can show that video. I did not bring that up. There's a video in the school, right? You probably saw the video, and the sheriff deputy is at deputy from the sheriff's department is at the door, and he's saying, it's safe to come out. And they're like, well, we are not sure we can trust that. It was truly a sheriff. The reason why everyone got a little scared, because the sheriff was at the end, open the door, bro. And that right there, everyone was like, no way a cop's going to be talking to us like that in slang, basically. But come to find out, it's been confirmed by the sheriff. It was a member of the sheriff's department. It was part of the sheriff's department. It was not the shooter. So I wanted to make sure that we debunk that right away. Okay? No clickbait going on over here, my friends, because I definitely want to just stick to the facts. And so let me know in the comments if you think his parents should be charged. Do you think his parents should be charged? What do you think? Do you think they should be charged? Because, I mean, it's okay to be, if you want to be a proponent of gun and having guns, the way this world is going, sometimes a lot of people believe we better be prepared. We better be prepared for whatever. And so a lot of people believe in having a gun. Me, I'm a little scared of guns because of how quickly it can kill somebody. A mistake can kill somebody. I'm kind of scared of those things, And so, so we don't know. But we do know that the family was definitely a fan of, of the Second Amendment. So they believe he should be prepared with a gun. So with that being said, did they buy that gun for him? Because it's a semi-automatic handgun that he used to kill 4 students and wound many more. And it was legally purchased by his father. So do you think he should face any charges? Let me know in the comments if you think the parents should face charges. Now, if you don't really know the facts, then, give your opinion if you want, no problem at all. So, and that's where we want to figure out. According to the prosecutor, Karen McDonald, she told reporters there is a mountain of digital evidence, videotape, social media, all digital evidence possible. And it is absolutely, we are confident that we can show it was premeditation. Now, if this goes to trial, I mean, He's being treated as adult. So he will never see the light of day again, is my thought. I don't know outside of that how they're going to get him to confess or just say I did it. Obviously, they got enough witnesses to say you did it, right? So what's a little worrying, a little scared, I don't know how to describe this, but the morning of the shooting, you know, the parents they had a meeting with the teachers. They had a meeting about his behavior. I mean, the morning of the shooting, how terrible is that? And school administrators had previously flagged the teen for behavior in the classroom they felt was concerning. But you can't really do anything about that, right? You can't really do anything about that. What are you going to do? Lock him up for what he is maybe able to do? So, I mean, there's no way around that. I don't think anyway, you know? So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think about that? You know, and then come to find out that Ethan, he was, I mean, even at a young age, he was creating video content. On a YouTube channel. Doesn't really have much going on, but he was creating content on YouTube. He started his first vlog when he was like so young. Literally so young. You know, and it's like, okay, all right, you were not afraid to get in the camera at a young age, that's for sure, right? But then you got these videos coming from him. You got a journal that was found at his parents' house, right? That even detailed descriptions of a wish to massacre classmates that they found on his cell phone and in a journal, even a video. And there was at least one social media post pointing to, you know, his elation at this new handgun that his dad bought. You know, and then you got his mom that's thanking Trump for my right to bear arms. And then you have a meeting between his parents and school administrators about his conduct just hours before the attack. So the question remains, like, how much did the parents know? Did they even know that he had this gun that day? Again, I'm guessing we're going to find out more. Now, Crumbley, he was a sophomore. In this school, Oxford High School. And it's too bad that they couldn't figure something out before this got worse. Because again, behavior in the classroom that they felt was very concerning. I wish they knew to do more before this happened. And so, you know, because the parents, I mean, they were in there to talk with school officials on Monday and Tuesday. Or should I say, let me correct that. Ethan was called into the school officials, called in to talk with school officials on Monday and Tuesday. On Tuesday morning, that's when his parents were brought into the school to have a face-to-face meeting about their son's behavior. Wow. Like, that is so freaking sick. So sick. According to Nathan Swanson, I was watching this video. It was a short clip of him talking to another news person. And according to him, he said that Ethan was really quiet. He would never talk to people. He wore all black. And according to Nathan Swanson, I believe he was really into hunting. Okay? All right? You know, you had someone else who was like, who shared he was so shocked by all of this. Well, yeah, we all are right now. You know, we are all shocked by this craziness that has occurred. I mean, this is so sad. I mean, you had two separate videos that were recovered from Ethan's cell phone that were made by him the night before the incident. And in the video, he talks about shooting and killing the students the next day at Oxford High. He didn't do anything with that video, I don't think, And then he also had a journal that was in Ethan's backpack where it was detailing his desire to shoot up the school to include murdering students. So he already wanted to kill these kids. He already wanted to hurt them. Wow. Like, where did this go wrong? Was it bullying? What did he lose it at the end? Now, let me make it very clear. Bullying is not okay. Shooting someone because you were bullied is definitely even worse than the bullying itself. That's my thought on that. It should never come down to taking someone's life, ever. I don't know what goes inside there to try to play psychologist, so I'm not going to try to do that. But you have to say, like, why would he plead not guilty? He only spoke to the judge to say he understood the charges and he's going to be held without bail, obviously. And so he's no longer in a juvenile detention, or if he is, he's about to be, he's going to be into the adult jail. So the one thing you can rest assured is that they're going to be watching this guy for suicide, that he won't take his own life, right? Because there's no doubt that this was premeditated. So he will be facing first-degree charges. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. And then you got his half-brother, Eli. He spoke to the news people too, and he described his younger sibling as happy and an average kid who loved the game Minecraft. And he said that he wanted to be an archaeologist when he got older. At one time they all lived in Florida before they moved to Michigan. And according to Eli, he says, this is the half-brother, it's still hard to believe. The Ethan I knew was just a smart boy who just seemed like an average kid. There was nothing that ever stood out to me. He'd never get suspended from school or detention. Now Eli, he's 18 years old. So he has no idea why his half-brother would do this. Who would have known he would do such a thing? Like, no one would have guessed that he could do such a thing. I mean, especially a 15-year-old boy. Like, what were your thoughts when you first heard about this school shooting? Would you have thought that it was another student? Honestly, my thought was it a student that did this? Former student, current student? Was it a student? Well, come to find out, it definitely was a 15-year-old student. What's that? Sophomore? Yeah, he was a sophomore. And so, of course, everyone's heartbroken. I'm heartbroken over this thing. This stuff should not happen in the school system. No wonder more and more people are wanting to homeschool their children. I don't blame them. Literally, I don't blame them. Do you blame them? So there is some discrepancy here. Whether this was his Instagram account, okay? Was this his Instagram account? According to this post, here is the social media account of the alleged U.S. school shooter, Ethan Crumbley. He had a countdown of when he was going to murder children, and this account was allegedly reported to the school before the shooting. Allegedly. So again, more information will come out about this. We don't know more than this right now. We don't know, outside of that, we really don't know much more than what has been reported so far. Right? So right now we can only wait to see what will happen, what more details will come out about the family, right? We will only be able to wait until we know more. And so let's see. Hold on one second here. Let me adjust this. Let's see. I got the wrong one there. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to show you some little bits of footage on here with no sound. So it's just going to be playing. Okay. So this is a little bit of the people running away from it. And I mean, this is all so heartbreaking, right? You got different, you got some things that were going on in, they have put up a bunch of videos on TikTok showing what's going on. I mean, it's amazing how fast this stuff got on TikTok, right? You can see the ambulance, a little tribute, Madison Baldwin, 17-year-old senior, Tate Meir, 16-year-old junior with a promise. They all had such promising futures. Hannah St. Julian, rest in peace, all of you. So it's like, it's such a heartbreaker. And so it's like, if you see anything, speak on it, share it. Don't keep it to yourself. Talk about it. You can see them inside when they were being locked down. And this is where you have to ask yourself, are there red flags that you need to pay attention? Are there red flags? Were there red flags here? Well, it sounds like there might have been, but not enough before all this was going to happen. Again, who would have thought this would result in 4 people dead and 7 more injured? I mean, this guy went in there and just really took it upon himself to do as he wished, which is also heartbreaking in its own, So you can see this when they're running out of the whole school. See, they're in there, and there's someone at the door, and they're like, first a little sigh of relief. They had a little sigh of relief when they're like, oh, it's the cops. But then when they say, bro, see that? He's standing up. He's like, okay, this is not sounding right. I totally get that. Definitely sound like a man's voice and not a kid's voice, though. But in the heat of this, who cares? Everyone's just scared out of their mind. Like, what in the world is going on, right? So, and then everyone's like jumping out the window and doing everything they can. Like, let's get out of here. And so they're all going to cover, which again, it was safe to come out, but they didn't know. And once he said, bro, there was like, no way this is a copper. I get it. That's smart. I mean, you got to be careful all the time with these things. And so that's what they're doing. They were being careful. And they're like, oh, we don't want to take a chance. We don't know if this is him or not. And there you have it. It was not the killer at that door. And so don't fall for the false narrative getting you to click on it. Was it the killer? No, it wasn't the killer. It was a true cop coming there to let you guys know safe to come out. Here's a little tribute to Hannah from the basketball team. Rest in peace, Hannah. You can tell she was very loved. She was loved by many. Just loved by many. Rest in peace, Hannah. I hope your family finds peace as well through these difficult times. My friends, if you are a person of prayer, please share. Do what you can to help these families find the peace. I am a big believer that prayer helps. Rest in peace, Hannah St. Juliana. Rest in peace, Justin Schilling. Rest in peace, Tate Meyer. Rest in peace, Madison Baldwin. Find some peace. My friends, thank you for joining me today on another episode of Deep True Crime. Hey, if you have not already smashed that subscribe button, make sure that you subscribe. That way, whenever I go live or I update new content, you get notified if this is the type of stuff you like. This channel is all about keeping you updated on what goes on around you to help you be aware of your surroundings and what can possibly happen. Granted, no matter how well aware you are of everything, something can still go wrong. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have an amazing, amazing day. And say a little prayer for all the families out there. Rest in peace to all those who were taken, and well recovery for those who were shot, and finding some peace and rest. And I pray that Oxford High can get back to normal on this non-normal incident. My friends, thank you. I'll talk to you